Hello everybody, what is going on? Steggy here with a video review on the Catz MLG controller. Now, since the days of Halo 3, we've heard the outcry of the competitive gaming community towards the blight that is the original Microsoft controller. If you play competitively, you're undoubtedly no stranger to the slow turn phenomenon. What can only be described as incompetence in the manufacturing of wired Xbox 360 controllers, the right analog stick was flawed where it would turn slower in some axes over others. Some pros like T2 have burned through hundreds of dollars worth of Xbox controllers to find one suitable for competitive play. In 2010, the community caught first wind of a solution in the form of the Razer Onza, but the hype that was brought didn't seem to stick, as the Onza seemingly brought its own set of problems. We then had the announcement of the MLG Catz controller. While Catz hasn't had the most prestigious history in gaming peripherals, with the sheer power of Catz's manufacturing and distribution, and the newer directions taken by the company, made possible by men like Mark Julio, have led Catz into better standing, with such titans like the Catz TE stick. Is the Catz MLG controller the solution to our problems? Well, if you want to find out, stick past the break. Well, first off, on first view, you can tell right away that this Catz controller is different than the ones that your mom bought at Walmart back in the day. Just in case you forgot that this controller is licensed by MLG, Catz has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 MLG logos to remind you. The MLG controller sells for $100 and is available for the Xbox 360 and PS3. A lot of people see this price as a pretty hard pill to swallow, but at the end of this review, you'll be able to decide whether the benefits justify the cost. No matter what console you go with, the contents will remain the same. The MLG Catz controller comes with a bunch of accessories to get you started off with. In the box you get the controller, the detachable nylon braided cord, 2 sets of faceplates, a set of thumbsticks and D-pad for the PS3, and a set of thumbsticks and D-pad for the Xbox 360. All of these fit inside the included carrying case. Now, I just threw a bunch of names out there, and I know you guys might not know the full skinny on this controller yet, so let me explain. The entire design behind the MLG controller is personalization and customization. This is achieved using 2 different systems. The first system created by Catz is called the Pro Module system. The MLG controller's D-pad and both joysticks are actually removable and swappable. This is the first of its kind for a gaming controller. With this design, you're able to have your controller have the configuration of the Xbox 360 controller with the Xbox 360 components, the configuration of the PS3 controller with the PS3 components, or any combination between the two. Sounds great, right? One of the biggest positives about this design is, 1, Catz decided to go with a form factor similar to the Xbox 360 for both versions of the controller. Actually, I'd say it's more like the S-type controller for the original Xbox, one of my favorite controllers of all time. And 2, you're able to have the same controller setup no matter what system you go with. The reason I see this as such an invaluable feature to have for a controller is this. Back in 2011, when Black Ops was added to the MLG Pro circuit, Sony provided support as a sponsor through things such as providing the systems for the tournament. So with the partnership, Black Ops was added as a PS3 title. It was great that MLG had support from Sony, but people weren't the biggest fan of the PS3 controller for FPSs. I know some Black Ops players were looking for any alternative they could in order to replicate the gaming experience of the Xbox 360. The MLG controller solves this. Let's say we have another FPS on the PS3 for the MLG Pro circuit. With the MLG controller, you can buy the PS3 version and configure it to replicate the Xbox 360 layout, and boom, seamless transition. So another valuable benefit that Catz advertises for the Pro Module system is that if you wear out parts of your controller, you're able to replace the single component rather than buy a completely new controller. So this goes for the cord, the D-pad, and the thumbsticks, which are the more common components that need replacing. In my 3 months of testing, I didn't wear out these pieces, but what I did wear out apparently was the select button. When your controller is new, the start and select button are very tactile with a definite click. Now, my select button is spongy. It still works, but the click is now completely gone. Moving on, the MLG controller features a weight system. You get 2 backs for the controller. One back is for weight-free use. It cuts down on some of the footprint. The other allows you to place 2 weight cartridges, both weighing 35 grams. This is a great feature to cater to the people with multiple preferences towards controller weight. I know plenty of people who have taken out the rumble packs of their controller to keep things light. So guys, this feature is for people like you. The MLG controller also features a removable nylon braided cord. This cord is sturdy and tangle-free and has a secure connection into the controller. It's pretty standard. A cord's never going to be exciting. I know some people have reported issues with connections on the MLG forums with this cord. I haven't had any of these problems in my 3 months of testing. Lastly, the second system for personalization and customization that Mad Catz provides is removable magnetic faceplates. This allows you to customize the look and feel of your controller. The MLG controller comes with 2 sets of black faceplates, one matte and one glossy. Now, I've never been a fan of the glossy kind of look. It looks great right until you touch it the first time, then it's a fingerprint and smudge nightmare. I did use both kind of faceplates and had no issue with grips with either one. Mad Catz also sells different colors of faceplates, allowing you to mix and match or purchase your favorite color to represent your personality at a LAN or tournament. You're also able to coordinate with Ps3 Thumbstick Replacements to get even more of a unique style. Right now, I'm using the light blue faceplate on my controller. Soon, I'm going to throw some pink thumbsticks on there to get a cotton candy thing going. So how do you change the color of the Ps3 thumbsticks? Well, the Ps3 thumbsticks actually screw off. You can screw off the stock Ps3 thumbsticks and replace them with different designs and colors. Mad Catz also sells spacers which you screw on, which increases the height of the sticks. This sort of replicates the Control Freak accessory that people buy. This can be done on only the PS3 stick versions, not the Xbox 360 ones, so keep that in mind. But if you don't want the PS3 thumbstick feel, some of the thumbstick packs have 360 style thumbsticks that can screw right on there. So you have PS3 thumbstick base, plus a spacer, plus an Xbox 360 cap. Now, I've seen some comments and some reviews saying how during playing, some players found that their thumb caps were unscrewing on the PS3 thumbsticks. I will say that this did happen to me, but it only happened to me once and it's not really a concern for me anymore. Now, you can store all of these accessories and the controller in the included MLG carrying case. As far as the case goes, it's a nice thing to include, but it's not really the best case I've ever seen. It's not like the Astro Gaming headset case that's crush-proof ballistic nylon. This is sort of a campy, soft lunchbox. I find the fit to be really tight with the case. The case's width is smaller than the breakaway cable, so it's a weird way to cram the cable in the top compartment and fit everything in there. With a bit of cramming, you'll be able to fit everything that comes in with a controller, and if you really cram in everything, you can fit in an extra set of faceplates, and you'll find some space for like extra thumb caps and spacers, but that's about it, and it's an extremely tight fit. Getting back to the thumbsticks, with the kind of options the PS3 screw caps have, I'm kind of confused at the Xbox 360 stick option. The 2 sets of modules seem to have just about the same kind of resistance, so logically speaking, it would make sense to have the MLG controller come with just the PS3 sticks and Xbox 360 thumb caps to screw onto that, and that would cut down on cost. This could make the MLG controller's price a lot easier to swallow. I know some people don't want to shell out 3 digits for a controller. So I discussed the whole Xbox 360 thumb cap on the thumbsticks with Madrick from the MLG forums, and he told me that the reasoning behind having the both modules is that the bumps on the little thumbsticks of the Xbox 360 thumbsticks are supposed to be perpendicular, and if you have them screw on, you could have them screw in a way that wouldn't make them perpendicular anymore. My response to that is that there are certain types of screws that you can use that will guarantee the placement of the final screwing product. So if you use that type of screw, you can have it end up in that perpendicular arrangement, or you could go without the bumps at all. I mean, the part of the reason why I switched to the PS3 thumbsticks was those bumps were uncomfortable to me. There are 360 thumb caps available on the Mad Catz website that either have none of those bumps at all, or have them going all around it to make it even so it doesn't matter if it's perpendicular or not. I think that if Mad Catz were to just include this over the 360 Pro module, people would be happier because it would be a cheaper price, and they'd still have the Xbox 360 thumbstick option. At first I thought, damn, just give me the Xbox 360 options and I'm set. If I don't want the PS3 versions, I don't want to pay for them. Well, in this thought, I was wrong. So a big concern that people have with the MLG controller is the sensitivity. It's different than the stock 360 controller, and when you first switch from one to the other, your game is thrown off. I'm not dismissing that this doesn't exist, it totally does. Mad Catz has said it, I've said it. However, the PS3 sticks were sort of my saving grace. When I first used the MLG controller, I used the 360 sticks and the 360 D-pad, and it totally felt off. It felt like it took more to get the character to move with the joystick. So let's say you're using the stock 360 controller. If you moved it 1mm from the center, you'd start moving. I felt like with the MLG controller you needed to move it 2mm before it started moving. My game was just thrown off. So I started using the Ps3 Thumbsticks. I thought, the MLG controller's thumbsticks feel so similar to the stock 360 controller's thumbsticks that the change in sensitivity is really noticeable. Maybe if I use the thumbsticks that feel differently, the fact that they'll act differently won't be as big of a change or a transition. And I was right. Using the Ps3 sticks helped me make my transition, but the best medicine is just giving it time. But if you're open to it, I definitely recommend using the Ps3 thumbsticks. Not in the PS3 style though, I don't know how anyone could play an FPS on that, but the Ps3 thumbsticks in the Xbox 360 configuration is really great. Honestly, they're so much more comfortable for my thumbs than the 360 thumbsticks, so just give it a try. No matter which thumbstick you decide to go with, the Mad Catz controller is a no-slow. Now with the D-pad, I also started out with the 360 D-pad and converted to the PS3 one. The PS3 D-pad just feels a lot more solid when I press it, so I went with that one. However, there is a bit of a defect with the Ps3 D-pad. While the different arrows are in separate compartments, so to speak, they're all still attached to one another. Because of this, if you hit a direction off-center, it'll actually hit into another direction. So let's say you're hitting up, but you hit the left side of the up direction, it's actually going to hit left. I posted about it on the MLG forums, and KillaKC told me that it was a known issue in the earlier controllers and was fixed. So I had sent Mad Catz an email telling them about my problem, and they sent me a replacement Ps3 D-pad, but this D-pad had the same exact problem as my first one did, so I guess this problem wasn't fixed like I was told. I mean, the Ps3 D-pad still feels more solid than the Xbox 360 version, but it does lead to mistakes being made while typing messages. I've never had a problem calling in a kill streak in Call of Duty, but when I'm trying to spell out a message using the D-pad, I run into problems. I'm curious to see how the other D-pads like the Fight Stick D-pad would work on this controller though. As far as comfort goes, the MLG controller doesn't disappoint. I'm both fond and accustomed to the old S-type controller for the original Xbox, so this controller felt right at home for me. Triggers, bumpers, face buttons, all solid. The only part of the design I'm not too fond of is the start and select placement. The Xbox guide button, start and select button are now all on the top part of the controller rather than the center. This was a turnoff for me. I had read the comments from Mad Catz and MLG how the placement was just different and required getting used to. I guess I'm used to it now, I will say that, but for the first few weeks I was hitting the faceplate in the center thinking I'd find a button there. But the reason why I still don't like this is because even though I'm used to the placement, it's more distance to get from my joystick to the buttons to check the scores or to change my class. Going from the joystick to the center is pretty close. Getting from the joysticks to the top of the controller is farther away and takes more time. And as everybody knows, every second counts in competitive gaming. But overall, I'm a big fan of the MLG controller, and it's now my go-to controller for gaming. At $100, it's a fairly steep investment, but so is cycling through multiple Microsoft controllers to find one that isn't slow turn. If you've gone through more than 2 Microsoft controllers, you'd already be better off with just buying the MLG controller. Hell, even if you have a controller with no slow, you might wear it out quickly. With the MLG controller, you get a 2-year warranty period, protecting your investment. Now, I get the option to include the different Pro module options with the MLG controller. I ended up being a convert, and I never thought it would happen, so I'm glad that it came with all the accessories it did, so I can make that switch. But, I think it would be very wise just to offer the PS3 Pro modules with a set of 360 thumb caps, and then the D-pad for both consoles. Doing this could potentially cut the cost down from $100 to something like $80. I think that the biggest concerns people have with this controller is the sensitivity issue and build quality though. The sensitivity issue, like I said, will be noticeable at first, but give it time and you'll be at full speed in no time. And for build quality, I had the one issue with the PS3 D-pad, and I ended up having the select button sponginess problem, but other than that, everything is solid with this controller. If you end up having any problems with your controller, rest assured that you won't be up shit's creek. Mad Catz and MLG will have your back with this product with support, so if you're tired of buying the cheap Microsoft wired controllers with slow turn, step into the big leagues with the MLG Mad Catz controller. So that'll do it for my video review on the MLG Mad Catz controller. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please comment, like, and subscribe, and if you really like this video, hit that favorite button as it really does help me out. Once again, this is Steggy, and until my next video, I will catch you guys later.